First, the visitors from RIT. Starting in goal, number 1, Christian Short. At left defense for the Tigers, number 2, Adam Brubaker. At right defense, number 10, Brady Norrish. Starting forward line for RIT. At left wing, number 16, Eric Brown. At center for the Tigers, number 6, Gabe Valenzuela. And at right wing, number 9, Liam Cairns. The rest of the RIT Tigers and their head coach, Wayne Wilson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as the RPI Pep Band will play the national anthems of Canada and the United States of America.
Between RPI and RIT. We'd like to thank the Independent Rensselaer Student Union. They provide the funding for WRPI. and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. As a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. And you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as WRPI is broadcasting, we provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org.
Ready for this one. RPI tied last night 3-3. Looking for their first win. They haven't played RIT in this building in quite some time. I believe it was 2005. No? Am I wrong?
2010-2011 season they played here. The Engineers came away with a 4-1 victory.
That's right. Okay, you're right. No, the game I was remembering was from my college days. This is what came to mind. It was a 10-7 game here.
Also notable as the last time
RPI scored 10 goals.
Digits, right.
But that's the game what was memorable in my mind. I'm not sure where I was in 2010. Maybe I was wandering around up at ECAP. I don't know. But yeah, the game that stands out in my mind was a kind of a slugfest, a 10-7 game here, as you are listening to live coverage of RPI hockey, 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Ready to drop the puck at center ice. RPI in their home whites with black and red trim. RIT in orange with black and white. It's worked up the far side boards. Eric Brown scored a goal last night against Union. Work it back to the point. Here's a shot and a save right away for Cam Hackett. A try from the left point. It came from Brubaker.
The officials for tonight's contest, referees are Douglas Place Jr. and Katie Guay. The linesmen Pavel Kozokin and Michael Noth.
Face off here in the RPI zone. Parker Reno, the senior and the alternate captain, works it to the near side boards. Jared Wilson just flies it out to center, skips right through the legs of Brubaker into the corner. Behind the goal now. Wrapped around to the near side corner. Liam Cairns, the cousin of former Engineer Paul Cairns, works it up the near wall and into Engineers territory. Paul Cairns, a 2010 grad of RPI. Now here's Wood, chipped up the wall towards the RPI bench and to the line where it's picked up by one of the Norrish brothers, Chase Norrish. Both of them captains here. Into the zone, a centering pass. Good stick there by Prapavezes to break up the play as it's shot around behind the goal. To the near side boards. Bourbonnais up ahead for Tierney as he's tied up and then knocks his man down. RIT back to their own end to pick it up. Behind the cage, it's Brony Vallette. Good outlet pass and a little between the legs play to the far side corner. Miles Powell will track it down there. Melanson throws a hit. Loose in front. The shot off the tight angle try. Hackett made the save. Now it's behind the goal. Another centering pass swept away by Bourbonnais to the near side boards. Corralled there by Manley. Did not play last night. Charlie Manley making his third appearance here for RPI. On the blue line, he's paired up with Tommy Grant this evening. So the Engineers work it all the way down the ice. An easy icing call here. Well, no, they wave it off. As out to play it is Christian Short. I believe they waved it off first before Short tried to play the puck. As it's now worked behind the goal. RIT has it there. 2 minutes into the first period. No score here, RPI and RIT. As Wilson will chip it off the body in the middle of the ice. Played on further for Lou Nanny. Nanny in the circle. His shot was blocked away by the poke check of Chris McKay. Behind the goal again. Nanny gets knocked down this time by Valenzuela. And around to the near side corner it goes. Help behind for the Tigers by Brady Norrish. Hayhurst tries to pry it out of there. Kicked loose. Hayhurst, a backhand try. That one's blocked by the defense. As it was Matt Apt who got in the way of that one. Hayhurst in the corner now, far side, spinning away from Apt. He'll carry it out towards the point. Center blue line, Wilson. Wrister through traffic, goes wide. Karam's off the back of the net. Now Nanny to the near circle. This is good offensive possession here as it's shot high off the glass behind the goal. Knocked down behind the cage. It's Nanny with it, turning and shooting high over the top. It'll come down to the far half wall, picked up by Patrick Polino. Just off the bench, it's Paulino. Carrying, drop pass Wilson. Wilson a shot, hit bodies in front. Pops right back to him. It's wide a goal. Polino picks it up on the near side. He's knocked down there. Orval gets whacked into the corner as it's played into the far corner of the zone near the Zamboni door. Stick handling now, trying to get out of there. They give it away. Shot coming, Rodriguez. Glove save after it popped off his chest. Rodriguez jumped on that loose puck and nearly beat Short there.
That's a good heads-up play there by the sophomore from Miami, Florida, Alex Rodriguez. Kind of picked a pocket and then made a nice hockey move by himself to try and get himself in a good position to take a good shot. A nice save there by Short. Keep this one a 0-0 game with 16:41 remaining in the first period.
Face off to Short's left here. It'll be corralled and carried up the far side by Brady Norrish of Strongfield, Saskatchewan. Worked up the wall for Danny Smith. And now played behind the goal. Tigers have it, looking for a centering pass. Could not be corralled in front by Ryan Kruper. As the Engineers clear it out and dump it in, Rodriguez will chase it down. Loose in the near circle, Kruper has it there. 5'11" freshman from Sherwood Park, Alberta. Into the offensive end it goes. Loose in front and put just wide. That puck just kind of found its way to the middle of the ice. Now an outlet pass connects to Wood. He'll skate it ahead, has a man trailing with him. It's Liljegren. Drop pass for a third man in. Shot by DeVito, hammered wide. It'll carry him all the way out of the zone, back into the Engineers' end. Tommy Grant, the sophomore defenseman from Sparta, New Jersey, back to pick it up for RPI. Up the near wall once more, out to center, it's Wood. Crossing over the red line. Now into the offensive end, he'll chip it in. Avoids a check and gets it deep. Shot around to the far side, half boards, RIT trying to clear it out, and they do on the carry. It's Perron Fontaine into the offensive zone, shot right back the other direction. Will this be icing on RPI? Yes, it will, as winning the race was Chase Norrish. We get a stoppage in play. 13:51 left in the first, no score.
Both netminders tonight playing their first game of the season, both sophomores who saw extended play last year while the upperclassman ahead of them was injured. In Short's case, he had a save percentage of .889 last year and a goals against average of .276 with a record of 8-6-3 for the RIT Tigers.
Face off here. One back to the point. Intentionally wide off the stick of McKay. And now Liljegren trying to move it out of the zone. Get some help from Wood as it's at center ice. McKay once more. Now they work it to the near side into the zone. Mikowski, he's tied up by a couple of Engineers. And now a shot comes from the point by McKay, sticked away easily by Hackett. Hackett hasn't played since the last game of the season last year against Harvard in the ECAC quarterfinals. So it's good to see him out there once more, getting an opportunity. Poked up the wall. Liljegren will skate through center, kind of meandering towards his bench, plays it ahead for Grant, too far for him. Picked away by Brady Norrish, and now out to center ice. Carried on further by Mikowski, 6'3", from Cheektowaga, New York. As Tom has pointed out to me, the only American in the lineup tonight for the RIT Tigers.
Every single other Tiger in the lineup tonight is a native of the great land to our north, Canada.
Draw coming up here. Shots with 3-1 RIT early. 14:39 left in the first period. We have a neutral zone face-off. Tyrannies up against Miles Powell, and there's some jousting going on the far side of the imaginary circle. They're going to toss both centermen. RPI wins the face-off anyway, with Riley Bourbonnais taking it. And now it's tapped to the far side circle. The Engineers zone, however, played out to the point, deflects over the top, and comes down to the near corner for Brady Norrish. He nearly gave it away. Everyone kind of scampered out of the zone, but the Tigers kept it in. Now fluttered wide of the goal, played around to the far side circle. Walking right in, a shot and a tight angle save on Powell, who elected to shoot there. And the Engineers are able to chip it out to center ice. Near side blue line. Wilson will fire it all the way down. Was it tipped into the zone? They'll say yes, no icing. Melanson trying to rough up his man in the corner. That was Brubaker. And now carried to center ice by the Tigers. They give it away. Now loose in the slot. And trying to walk it right out in front was Brown, but he was tied up and never got the shot away. Stolen at center ice by Liam Cairns. They'll dump it right back in. Prapaves is back to claim it for RPI. Up the boards for Nanny. His lead pass for Hayhurst too far. He'll be tracked down by Vallette. And now carried right along with speed. It's Valenzuela into the RPI zone, trying to find Cairns with a pass. He was covered up as the puck pops to the near side circle. Down low they go. Cairns is knocked down as he does battle there with Prapaves as they both go down. And now looking to carry it out of the corner and taking a hit was Brown. Outlet pass far side, gets it as far as center. Shot back in by the Tigers. Three of them need to touch up, and they do. As it'll be Will Riley carrying and now dropping back for Prapaves in his own zone. Tipped to the offensive end by Nanny before he gets upended. Played around behind near side. McKay takes a hit and nearly lost the puck. Polino putting the pressure on, as is Orval. Outlet pass picked off by Reisinger. And now it's spinning around with it is Polino, top of the circle. Still Patrick Polino, center of the slot. Fan to the first shot, second try into the corner. Picked up here by RIT and cleared to center all the way down. Will it be on goal? I think it will be. They wave off the icing right away. Outlet pass behind Reisinger, and now it'll be shot right back into the RPI zone. Tommy Grant picks it up there. Behind the back pass, connects there with Manley, and now Reisinger to center. That one's broken up. Rodriguez turns it right back up ice. Jimmy DeVito from Bloomingdale, Illinois. Centering pass for Rodriguez, but 3 Tigers converged on him, and he wasn't able to get the shot away. Flipped right back into the offensive zone for RIT. 8 minutes into a scoreless first period here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Second home game of the year here on Family Weekend. RPI tying Niagara last night. Here is Smith, Danny Smith from Edmonton, Alberta, for the RIT Tigers. Stick handling through center. That was one of the Norris, or excuse me, that was Chase Norris, who lost the puck on his way into the zone. Now it's Villette up ahead. A shot comes well wide of the target. It'll be moved out to center through the legs of Liljegren. Corralled there by Apt. He'll shoot it right back into the RPI zone, far side corner. Fanning on the clearing attempt was Wilson. Now he's tied up. Shot around to the near side half wall. Now fanning on a shot was McKay. He'll backtrack to the blue line and keep it in. Down low it goes, behind the net. Reno bumps into his man there. That's Max Mikowski. And now pinching in is McKay to keep the play alive. Far side, Powell back to the point, some room, a shot deflects off a skate into the near side corner. Now Wood chips off the glass to center. McKay knocks it down and fires in on goal from center ice. And Hackett makes the stop. Long outlet pass to the RIT blue line. Tierney's was waiting for quite some time, and by the time the puck actually got there, he wasn't able to corral it as he was surrounded by Tigers. 10:40 left in the first, no score.
Well, the shots on goal total is in favor of the Tigers, 4-1, but I would say that the Engineers probably have had the better of the scoring opportunities so far. Much of the play has been down in the RPI end, but RPI defense doing a great job of essentially limiting RIT's decent opportunities.
Play dumped in by RIT. It'll be shot around by Prapavesis. He'll get it right back, however, as it came to him from Gerdukis. And now Melanson to center. On further for Bourbonnais. Had a step on his man. He has to go to the far side of the zone to claim it. And now Tiger lost his stick in the play. Now he picks it back up. A diving play by Bourbonnais. It doesn't stop Gerdukis to carry back the other direction. Centering pass right on goal. Fed off the back of Hackett and in. It's a goal for the Tigers. And it is Caleb Cameron who made a nifty play there to flip it off of Hackett from behind the goal line and score.
And I'm certain that's not exactly what he was trying to accomplish there. I think he was just trying to push the puck back towards the slot, essentially, just as he was heading past the net. It ended up bouncing off the back of Cam Hackett and into the net. So I'll say lucky, I'll just say fortunate. Bounce for the RIT Tigers using that physical motion there. And RIT takes a 1-0 lead on the Engineers with 10 minutes to go in the first period.
10:04 on the clock officially, so 9:56 on the goal. As it's going to be Hayhurst leading a rush the other direction quickly for the Engineers. And he pulled the puck back across the blue line, and you can't do that. The Engineers are offside.
Still looking for the official scoring on that one, but it is Caleb Cameron scoring. The goal is the one that essentially kind of backhanded the puck back towards the crease, almost blindly. Got that good bounce off the leg of Cam Hackett into the net. That is the third goal of the season for the senior out of Sunridge, Ontario. It does not appear that they've added any assists
not
just
yet,
but an even
there will
goal
be.
at
Yeah, right.
9:56 has RIT up 1-0.
Cameron scored last night in Schenectady against Union. So he's a veteran. He's a senior. Playing in his 101st game for the Tigers. That was his 17th career goal and his 44th point. So the Engineers taking on an RIT team that's coming in at just 1-2-1 overall, but they're a solid program and really always a contender in Atlantic hockey for sure.
Absolutely, and it's interesting when RIT first announced, a little bit over 10 years ago now, that they were moving up to Division I hockey. There are a lot of people that said that they would have a hard time making it, but they pretty much stunned the observers right away. They had a rough first year as an independent, but then they joined Atlantic Hockey, and even though they were not eligible for the Atlantic Hockey playoffs that year, they still ended up going out and being the #1 team during the regular season.
Back to action here at the Houston Fieldhouse. It's 1-0 RIT. Moving into the zone as Cairns pulled it back to his forehand, left-hand shot, and took a shot. Now it's poked out to center. Orval wants to break. Into the zone, walking in. Orval, a shot over the top of the net. Had a defenseman converging, kind of forced him to the right side of the zone and wasn't able to take a direct line to the net. That may have forced him to change his angle of attack there. Shot missed over the crossbar. Now it's back out into the RPI zone. Corralled there by Hayhurst. He's been dynamic in his first 4 games for RPI. Takes a wrister, glove, but not held. Still loose. Hayhurst slots it wide of the goal. Falling onto his stomach, he was able to still get his stick on the puck and swat it towards the net, but it went wide. Tigers trying to clear. That comes off of Riley Bourbonnais and out of play. 8:53 on the clock in the first. RIT has scored first, as Niagara did last night. Of course, we were scoreless after 1 last night, but RPI has shown their ability to hang around in games, at least early on. It's been closing them out that has been the issue.
RPI was showing some good resilience there. That was a nice move by Jesper Orval, but an even better way by Chase Norrish, the captain out of Strongfield, Saskatchewan, just kind of hold his ground and make sure to force Orval a little bit wider than he wanted to go.
Shot through center, tipped into the zone, and on goal by Melanson. Now out of the net is Tyrannies trying to backhand it in front, if not for the stick of Brubaker. That pass might have connected. Now a shot from Reno pinching in, hit a body. Karams to the far side corner. Behind the net, battling forward is Bourbonnais. Swept out of his skates, pinching in on the near side is Wilson. Now Bourbonnais behind the net to the half wall. Taking his eye off the puck there was Melanson. It hopped right off his stick and out to center. There's an Engineer offside. It was Bourbonnais. The Engineers jump right back on it. Good outlet pass into the zone. Bourbonnais looking to turn on the Tigers defenseman. There was actually Danny Smith doing the defending. And now falling down on the play was one of the Engineers. It was Melanson, and it allows RIT back the other direction. Bouncing puck in the circle, shot from a tight angle, saved by Hackett. Puck cleared off the far wall. Out to center ice. Here comes Bourbonnais once more. Rodriguez with him, who's just off the bench. We got a penalty coming up here. Bourbonnais was upended on his way into the zone, and the Engineers will have the first power play of this game.
Just as I was praising Chase Norrish for standing tall on an odd man rush, right there did absolutely the wrong thing when it came to Riley Bourbonnais, who essentially moved the puck in order to try and get it past Norrish, but then Norrish decided to continue to play the man afterwards and took Bourbonnais down. Holding call puts RPI on the first power play of this game for either team. The RPI power play this season just 7.1%, 2 for 28, but they did score last night. I don't see where the penalty kill is on there, unfortunately. But RPI 2, the power play nonetheless.
Prapavessis, far side Hayhurst, walking in, a wrist shot save, and the rebound pops to the slot, but the Tigers are there to clear it all the way down. Stopped behind the net by Cam Hackett. He'll leave it off for Prapavessis. And now it'll be Hayhurst to lead the rush once more. Littleton waiting at the blue line, played back towards the point. And now a trip here will end that power play as Prapavessis laid out and got his stick tangled with the RIT penalty killer. That was Powell. So the Engineers, the first power play of the game, lasts all of 32 seconds.
For the record, RIT's penalty kill, 71.4%, just 20 for 28 so far this season. But it won't matter going forward, at least not right now, as we will be playing 4-on-4 for the next minute 28, a tripping call against Mike Prapavessis.
4-on-4 here for a minute 28. Let's see. 1-0 RIT lead. Here's Jake Wood. He scored against North Dakota last Saturday. First goal of the year. outlet pass to him is behind him. He has to go back and get it. He turns and swats it into the zone as he had pressure coming. Played there by Brubaker. He'll get it back and now work it back behind his own net for Brady Norrish. Norrish starts out from behind his goal. Working it off the far wall. Now behind the intended target in the zone was Eric Brown. Moved out to center. It's Nanny. On for Melanson. Reno all the way below the goal line. Will try to backhand it back to Melanson. That pass is intercepted and cleared up the wall. 2 Tigers along the far side of the boards. They'll like to just dump it in, and Tommy Grant will go back to get it. They'll change all 4 of their 4. We're still 4-on-4 for another 35 seconds. It's Tommy Grant to center. Stick handling. He'll move it into the zone by himself, chip it off the wall, and go and get it in the far corner. Played behind the goal now. That one hit the stick of Melanson. He broke it up. Melanson chopping at it. Skips by Nanny. And now hammered off the back wall to the far side. RIT looking to break out. They have numbers if they hurry. Potential 3-on-2 into the zone. Cairns pulls it back at the circle. Takes a shot and he ripped it wide. Kept in at the far point, however, by Apt, who just flings it right back in. Cairns once more. Bumped by Riley. Pucks in some equipment. Comes down to the side of the net. Bourbonnais back out to center. Tigers are out of the box, so as a power play, but here comes Riley Bourbonnais. Short-handed, he scores! Short-handed goal, Riley Bourbonnais, his second shorty of the year and his second goal of the year. We're tied at 1.
Well, in as much as the goal that was scored by Jake Wood that you just referenced in North Dakota was kind of a shorty, all but a shorty. He scored just a couple of seconds after the North Dakota power play had expired. This one's kind of a shorty in name only, as the Engineers got it going just about the time that their penalty kill began. But when you got numbers going forward like that, it doesn't much matter, and Riley Bourbonnais picked his spot and nailed it perfectly to make this one a 1-1 game. The Engineers still on the penalty kill here for another 20 seconds or so.
So killing off a penalty now, as Tom mentioned, now 10 seconds left on it towards the point. The Tigers keep it in, although it's right to Wilson, who wants to skate shorthanded. Why not? 2-on-2, the Engineers move it in shorthanded, taken down, and the fans want a hook. And I don't blame them. It seems like it would have been last night, as Hayhurst will jump on this loose puck. RPI back to even. They kill off that very short 32-second RIT power play.
RPI first goal was scored
as it's corralled behind the net and now played towards the point. Behind the goal, Hayhurst takes a bump on the attack. It works to the far side corner, but nobody home. Mark Logan picks it up, the sophomore from Calgary, Alberta. At the red line, the Tigers pick it up and dump it in. Too far for Hackett as he went out behind his net to try and play it. And now Nanny to center. Brubaker to pick it up for RIT. He'll slow it down behind the goal. 4.5 left. Now a tie game, 1-1. As Brubaker waits there from Elmira, Ontario. 2 goals already for the defenseman in 4 games this season. There's some stick play going on at the blue line. Here's Reisinger. Up ahead for Polino. A couple of freshmen connecting there. Polino goes down right inside the zone on the near side. There's a big-time scrum, 3 each way. Norrish peels it out of there. Comes funny off the wall. He'll go back and pick it up. That's Chase Norrish. Runs into another wall of bodies on the near side boards. They'll try the far side now. Chipped out in the air to the RPI line and over it. Picked up by Prapavesis. Prapavesis rings it around the near side boards for Reisinger. Or Reisinger, rather, and the Tigers shoot it right back in. Prapavesis again. Onto the tape of Paulino at his own blue line. He'll chip it off the near boards and chase after it himself. Has a man behind the net. It's Rodriguez. Paulino gets hit. Rodriguez comes away, turns and shoots. Pretty simple stick save, as watching it all the way was Christian Short. Shots now 6-5 RPI. 1-1 is the score. Tigers on the move into the offensive zone. Kruper, a backhander, goes wide. He was being pressured there by the RPI defense. Reno got a little bit of that shot, or at least of his stick, to force the misfire. Wilson to center ice, crossing the red line. He'll move it in. Bourbonnais can't keep it in as the Tigers swat it out of the zone. Bourbonnais turns right back around and fires it deep. Karam's off the end wall. Picked up there by the Tigers. It's Apt trying to clear, jumping in Grant. That one came with a wicked hop off of someone's body. That second shot tipped wide by Tyrannies to the far side corner. Caleb Cameron plays it backwards. RPI forecheck doing a real good job right now. Stolen away by Manley, trying to center. The puck never sat for him. And that'll allow the Tigers to clear it out to center ice. Grant, with a little bit of pressure from Caleb Cameron, turns it over in the neutral zone. App drops it back. Tigers trying to change. 2:22 left in the first. 1-1 the score. Goals from Cameron, his third for RIT, and Bourbonnais his second for the Engineers. 4-on-2 across the line. But nothing comes of it as the shot was blocked by the RPI defense. Picked up on the far side by McKay. He'll backhand it in deep behind the goal. Battling for it there is Gerdukas. As it's wrapped around to the near side half wall now. Kept in there by Powell. Along the boards is Norrish. That being Chase. Keeps the play alive for the Tigers in the near corner. Gerdukas gets hit. Played behind by Manley and now Wood. And now the Engineers are having trouble getting out of their own zone. Grant. Glove down. Kept in. Shot coming. That hit bodies. Rebound played to the far side. And maybe one too many passes there. As the shot never came. RPI trying to break out of the zone, but they got to get the puck first. Shot by Cameron over the top. As two Engineers had started on their way out, but the puck wasn't there yet. Now finally a clearance high in the air. No icing, they wave it off. Engineers trying to get a change as that group was out there for quite some time. Tipped across the RPI line and shot in deep as we're now getting close to a minute to go in a pretty fast-moving first period. Hayhurst stick handling in his own zone. Played across far side, some space over there to work in. Now Riley shoots it into and maybe out of the RIT bench. We have a stoppage with 57.9 seconds left in the first period. 1-1 RPI and RIT.
Yeah, this game really should be 2-1 RIT now, though. It's hard to fault Cameron for the way he scored his first goal, but he really should have had a second one there. The gaping mouth, goal mouth to shoot at, and he elects to pass it off on kind of a low percentage pass to boot, so not a good choice by the senior there to pass up on that shot.
Yeah, while I agree with you, should have shot the puck there. You can kind of see what he was trying to do. If that pass had gotten through, it was even high, and it was an even higher percentage finish for the man who would have received the puck. But like
tough to get
right.
a pass. I mean, I know the RPI defense was kind of gassed at that point, but at some point, some point you do have to pull the trigger yourself. That's absolutely true.
If the puck's on your stick and you have the goalie leaning at least or not completely covering the net, you got to take that shot there. I agree. But yeah, he was looking for the home run ball really, and he kind of swung and missed on that one. Puck behind the RIT net. They have it there. It's Valette, and now hand off for Apt. He nearly gave it away. Nanny hustling back there, and he might have drawn a penalty on RIT. Yes, he did. The junior from Edina, Minnesota, Lou Nanny, just pure hustle behind the net to draw this penalty in an RPI power play coming up.
100% hustle, 100% forecheck. Nanny just created that penalty by going after the puck. And the Engineers will get their second power play of the game out of it. It is a holding call. Should be against Apt, I believe, since he was the one back there that was jostling with Nanny for the puck.
I would have to agree. He was the only one around.
So with 27.9 seconds remaining in the first period, RPI onto the second power play of the evening. They're 0 for 1 so far on their truncated man advantage that they had earlier in the first.
Face off here. DeVito to take the draw for RPI. The RIT centerman is hiding behind the referee. That is Danny Smith for the Tigers. Engineers win it back cleanly. Wilson, a shot and a big pad save. Puck pops all the way back out to Wilson, who just backhands it right back in deep. That hit the Zamboni door opening. And DeVito works it back into the corner from Melanson. And now DeVito once more. He'll ring it around to the near point. This is Evan Tierney's. Up top for Wilson. Mishandled the puck just a bit. Now a shot comes. That's blocked. Wilson gloves it down at the line. Near side Tierney's with 4 seconds to go in the period. Cross ice feed. Wilson. A drive. And that one hit a leg. And Karam's to the near wall. And that will do it. Jared Wilson likes this new power play setup. You have to imagine he just stands up top and hits bullets at the net. He already has a couple of power play goals this year, and you can see why. That's the Engineers' job, is to get the puck to him.
That would be both of RPI's power play goals this season have been scored by Jared Wilson. And like you just said, Perry, it's not hard. I mean, not hard to see why when he just absolutely rifles them from back there. If that's going to be the game plan, I can see exactly what Seth Apper was talking about earlier before the game started about really all that they're missing is goals, and that very short burst of power play opportunity there by the Engineers kind of illustrates that. They did a great job cycling the puck. They would have had an excellent opportunity with Melanson, but the puck bounced off the Zamboni doors the way it usually does. Kind of dives and then just kind of sits there. But if RPI can take that going forward into the second period, and when they have the lion's share of this penalty still to go, they've got a little bit over a minute 30 left of power play time to start the second period. They put themselves in a pretty good spot. Just a little bit of housekeeping. The 2 goals scored during the first period. The first goal was scored by the RIT Tigers at 9:56, an even strength goal by Caleb Cameron. His third of the year was assisted by Albert Dukas, made it 1-0 Tigers. Then the Engineers tied it up on a shorthanded goal by Riley Bourbonnais. His second goal of the year, his second shorthanded goal of the year. The lone assist going to Evan Tyrannese at 14:12 of the first period, and that is where we sit heading into the first intermission.
With that, we will step aside here and be back with our first intermission. RPI and RIT tied 1-1. You're listening to RPI Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
And number 29, Patrick Polino. His parents, Koss and Ann Polino. Brothers, Joe and Koss. Number 35 is Chase Perry. His parents, Craig and Holly Perry. From the sophomore class, please welcome number 1, Cam Hackett. His father, Patrick Hackett. Number 4 is Connie Grant. Parents, Rich and Tracy Grant. Number 9, Mears Moore. Father, Skeeter Moore. Number 11, Evan Tyrannese and his parents, Fred and Monica Tyrannese. Number 21, Brady Whiffen. Parents, Rob and Kelly Whiffen. His sister, Bailey Whiffen, and his girlfriend, Julie McPhail. Number 28, Jesper Orval. Parents are Jorgen Orval and Tina Spabring. Number 39, Alex Rodriguez. Parents, Larry and Isabel Rodriguez. From the junior class, number 12, Victor Liltegren. His mother, Annika Liltegren. Grandmother, Monica Liltegren, and girlfriend, Mimi Soderberg. Number 13, Jared Wilson. Parents, Dan and Jennifer Wilson. Number 19, Mike Prapavesis. Parents, Jim and Karen Prapavesis. Number 22 is Bradley Bell. His parents, Jeff and Joanna Bell. Number 23, Lou Nanny. Father, Marty Nanny. Number 25 is Drew Melanson. His parents, Paul, Mary Ann Melanson. And from our senior class, please welcome number 2, Parker Reno. His parents, Len and Margene Reno. Number 14, Riley Bourbonnais. Parents, John and Lori Bourbonnais. Number 20, Jimmy DeVito. His parents, Jim and Tony DeVito. And number 27 is Jake Wood. His parents, Kevin and Judy Wood. The families of your RPI Engineers. Thank you. Now it's time to give away some money. Inside the Seth Q money machine, we have $1,000 floating about. Rich Velo will have 60 seconds to grab as much money as he can. Let's get it in the machine, fire it up, put a minute on the clock. at Houston Fieldhouse box office for a discount on tickets to upcoming Engineer home games. Dunkin' Donuts mobile app, your gateway to DD perks, where you can earn rewards and points on purchases. Dunkin' Donuts proud to be the official coffee of RPI Athletics. Your Engineers run on Dunkin'. And while you're up and about, stop by section 21 and Ben & Jerry's. Don't forget, grab your favorite flavor from cow to cone. Enjoy your scoop tonight. Ben & Jerry's, also proud to support RPI hockey. Fans, we'd like to remind you, Ryan's Wake is proud to support RPI Athletics. Head downtown after the game, check out the pub kitchen at Ryan's Wake. Two finals this afternoon in college hockey. It was Denver 3, Michigan State 1, and it's Schenectady Union 5, Niagara 2.
One word to reinvent education. One word to pioneer new concepts. One word to improve lives. One heritage. One vision. One university. One word changes everything. Rensselaer.
they want a little bit of education. Really combines the best of all the athletics. This league is following history and tradition. CSU hockey is great. The tradition, the rivalries, work ethic has to be there. That tenacity. They play at the highest level in the country. We have 12 outstanding institutions. We had the best conference in the country last year. We're the best league in the country. The rivalries are just incredible. I don't think there's a better league in the nation.
This evening by Perry Lascaris, and you listen to all of us on your home for Engineers Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Before we get started with the second period, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all of the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. And you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as long as WRPI is broadcasting. We provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. Shots on goal in the first period of play, 7-5 in favor of the Engineers. Jacob Hayhurst led the way for RPI with 2 shots in the first period. Miles Powell also had 2 shots on goal for the Tigers, who won 8 faceoffs in the first period. The Engineers winning 7 faceoffs. So
Faceoffs,
even in the circle.
Yeah. Engineers have done a little bit better job. They've played against some good face-off teams. Obviously, North Dakota might skew things the other way, but Jacob Hayhurst has been great. He's been up around 60%. He's been the top face-off man for RPI as just a freshman. Engineers have been waiting for someone to step up in that department. Drew Melanson's had a good start. Didn't take a lot of draws last year, but he's been good so far this season when he's had the opportunity. We are underway in the second period, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Perry Lascaris and Tom Reel from the Houston Fieldhouse in a 1-1 game. Here is the aforementioned Hayhurst in the far corner. Power play for another minute 15 for the Engineers, as the puck is skated towards the line, but kept in by Riley. Good strength on the puck there, just keeping it at the blue line. Engineers get it in deep. Tigers a chance to clear once more. Riley can't do it this time. It is whacked out to center. Now Bourbonnais stick handling along the line. Hayhurst went across it. He'll have to wait, does Riley, to just ring it in. He'll ride the dasher for a bit and come down around the near side half boards. Prapavesis at the point, waiting. Far side, fed across on a hard pass. Hayhurst couldn't control. He'll go back to pick it up and play it into the corner. Now up the wall, tough handle for Prapavesis, but he does. Hayhurst gives it back to him. Good bit of stick handling there by Hayhurst and Prapavesis, and now down low into the skates of Bourbonnais. RIT defenseman lost his stick. Prapavesis a drive, they score! Mike Prapavesis from the high slot. He hammered it home. Liljegren provided the screen. It's a power play goal and a 2-1 RPI lead.
I'm not sure exactly how much it had to do with the fact that Brody Vallett lost his stick. Obviously, it's the last thing you want to have happen to you on the penalty kill is have one of your defensemen lose their stick. But I think Prapavesis could see him basically right in front of him, had no stick, might as well take a shot. We know he could be just as dangerous from the blue line as Jared Wilson. He's able to squirt one all the way past everyone, past Christian Short to give RPI their first lead of the game on the power play. It's 2-1 Engineers.
Face off here, neutral ice. The puck, the Engineers get it deep right away. And it'll be flipped in after the Tigers clear to center by Jared Wilson. Up the near wall, Reno keeps it in, flutters one wide of the goal with Tyranese flying in front of him. And now another shot in the save made by Short. Rebound cannot be corralled. Wraparound try, they score again! Evan Tyranese, it's 3-1!
That's exactly what RPI wanted to accomplish. They've got to get themselves some solid leads They really haven't been able to put that together this season in terms of just going out there and establishing themselves. So very shortly after scoring, RPI gets a big goal from Evan Tyrannese, whose absence from last year's team was, I think, missed more than most people will realize, because he only appeared in, I believe, 7 games, but he was leading RPI in scoring at that time. He's certainly off to a hot start here for his redshirt freshman season now. He gives the RPI Engineers a 3-1 lead, and that will be all for Christian Short.
Short out of the game after that third RPI goal, and we get the man who started the first 4 games for RIT. It's Mike Rotolo for the Tigers. He comes in with a 1-2-1 record, 320 goals against, 877 save percentages. Hayhurst fed it across, looking for a deflection, didn't get it. Now a shot comes wide from Nanny, chipped out to center, picked up by Wilson. He'll filter it right back down. This will be icing on RPI here. 17:46 to go in the second period. It's an onslaught here from the Engineers to start the period. 2 very quick goals for a 3-1 lead.
Still waiting on the official scoring on both of those goals, which came, looks like 30, my quick math is correct, looks like that was about 33 seconds apart. The new goaltender for RIT is senior Mike Rotolo. The Rochester, New York native is 1-2-1 this season with a goals against average of 320 and a save percentage of 877.
Here come the Tigers from out of their own end. Slowed up in the neutral zone, they like to just dump it in. Back to pick it up, Manley will wrap it around. Kept in over there nicely. It was Apt, and now a 2-on-1 chance in front off the post. And it'll be grabbed on the rebound by Hackett. Apt just kind of walked in there and he wrung one off the left post. Engineers catch a break. Hackett with the awareness to find it after it hit the iron. Yeah, he fell right in his lap.
That's the last thing RPI needs at this point. I mean, they've got all the momentum now, 2 quick goals. They've got a 2-goal lead. Give back one of those almost just as quickly would be not so great for RPI, let's say.
Puck worked in the near corner. It's Kruper. Melanson trying to dig it out of there. Shot comes from Apt. That one deflected wide by the man in front. That was Danny Smith. Help to the near side boards. Behind the net now. Tommy Grant tries to put his stick in the mix. Spinning there is Smith. Out of the corner, trying to walk it out in front. Jam try. Save on the shot by Peacock, and now the Engineers move it out to center, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Pass way out too far out in front of Bourbonnais, who then runs into his man and takes a couple of cross checks here. They might get both of them. We'll see how they sort this one out.
There's certainly going to be at least one penalty called, and possibly one on the Engineers as well. Nope, looks like it's just going to be Matt Apt heading back to the box. He was in the sin bin for Mike Krapovets's goal earlier in the second period. RPI going back on the power play. They are 1 for 2 this evening. Matt Apt, a native of Leduc, Alberta, which is well known in Canada for being the site of Canada's very first oil strike.
I did not know that.
Now you do.
Oh, well, I'm glad you. That's why you're here.
Looks like they are also going to get a penalty on the Engineers here, which is what I was expecting pretty much from the get-go. So like Riley Bourbonnais is off.
Bourbonnais ran him into the net pretty good. Yeah. There he is, if you're watching. If not, just picture what Riley Bourbonnais looks like, sitting in the penalty box. 16:31 to go in the second period. 3-1 is the RPI lead. 2 quick goals here in the second. We have 4-on-4 hockey for a full 2 minutes. 1:48 left on that. Scooped into the zone far side by Cameron. He'll spin around in the corner, finds the near point wide open. Brubaker shot, Hackett with the save, no rebound. Another big stop there by Hackett.
Yeah, Cam Hackett just really good positioning there. And people, I think you take a look at his numbers from last year. Overall, 288, 918 save percentage. They don't look amazing, but you have to remember that a lot of that is skewed by the experiences that he had in the playoffs last year. essentially coming in 2 no-win situations and being essentially a victim of circumstance because RPI was playing a little bit more dangerously than they normally would in trying to save their season, and they ended up giving up extra goals because of it.
Shot in front and they score. It's a 4-on-4 goal for Gabe Valenzuela, his second of the season. It's a 3-2 game. A little bit of miscommunication defensively for RPI, and Valenzuela was wide open in front.
Yeah, I'd say miscommunication is putting it nicely, I think. The RPI defense, a little bit of a breakdown there, but full marks to Valenzuela for taking full advantage and burying that one. That was a professional goal right there by the RIT sophomore out of Brampton, Ontario.
Center ice draw. Tigers get it in. RPI trying to move it out. Reno's pass behind the intended target. Lots of goals being scored here in the second. Parker Reno shoots it around for Tierney's. He'll pick it up there. Behind the net left for Reno. Reno skates to the neutral zone. Tierney's calling for it. Reno just skates into the offensive zone and drops it off, but it will have an offside. 15-34, go ahead.
Plenty of scoring in the second period, as you mentioned, Perry. It's almost a little bit reminiscent of that game that you were referencing from about 10 years ago where the Engineers scored 10 goals on the Tigers for the last time that they were able to eclipse the double-digit mark. But it's worth remembering, at least in that game, that RIT scored 7 goals themselves. So it was certainly a pretty serious track meet that night.
Lots of penalties, lots of goals. Here is DeVito. He gives it away in the offensive zone. Cameron trying to center. Pushed away by the goaltending stick of Hackett to the corner to safety, and now lobbed up ice. Leaping play. I think that was apt to glove it down. He tosses it over Manley. And now Orval just trying to help it back into his own zone to find some time and space. Here's Grant. Near side of his own end. Run into there as Brubaker just ended up throwing his hands into the back of the head of DeVito. But we play on. Here is Vallette behind the goal, left there. Tigers trying to work it out of their own end. They'll try the near side once more. Brody Vallette from High River, Alberta. Moved up the far side board, skated to center ice. Into the zone, and stopping there was Powell. He'll elect to just dump it in for Cameron. He gets taken off the puck, and now Rodriguez. Outlet pass broken up there, right onto the tape of Polino. Skates it into the offensive zone. Polino off the sidewall, trying to play it to himself. It's picked away by the Tigers, and they're back out to center. Good stick by Riley at the red line to chip it in. Polino nearly picked the pocket and eventually did of Apt. He'll skate it towards the top of the near circle. Polino turning, firing through traffic. That one did get all the way to Rotolo, but he made the save. Norrish up the far side boards, now RIT to center ice. We're 5-on-5 as the drop pass comes, top of the circle, shot goes well wide. Prapavesis picks it up here. He'll take a look around and just chip it off the near boards. I'll make it Reisinger rather, as it's shot in wide of Hackett, then it comes right back out in front. Reno swats it into the corner and out of danger. That one comes down off the back of the net there. Tigers on it, backhand in front. Hackett did not have the far post covered. The Tigers couldn't get a shot on goal. Now it's between the legs of Wilson as the Engineers just trying to find the puck, and they do, and they get it to center. Here comes Melanson. Stop and go move, a little bit of speed into the offensive zone. He carries behind the net, trying to center, swatted away by Brubaker. And now Riley Bourbonnais breaks things up along the far boards. Tigers spinning around. It's Brady Norrish behind his own net, hands it off for Brubaker. Engineers turn them over again. Tyrannese off the half wall. He's got a goal tonight. Fed across. Here's Grant. A wrist shot saved by Bertolo. He lost it after he made the stop. It caroms to the corner and now cleared to center in the air and all the way down. Back to pick it up is Manley. The freshman Charlie Manley from Buffalo, New York. Worked up quickly. Here comes Bourbonnais into the attack. Orval trailing. Bourbonnais stops in the far circle. Backhands it down low. Rotolo kind of tangled up with one of his defensemen, but he covers up anyway. 12:34 on the clock in the second period. It's 3-2 RPI.
Going back over the scoring for the Engineers at 1:08 of the second period, a power play goal by Mike Prapavesis, with the assists going to Victor Liljegren and Riley Bourbonnais, made it 2-1 RPI. Evan Tyrannese then scored 33 seconds later, with the assists going to Jake Wood and That can't be right. Says TJ Samick, who still has yet to.
He's not out there.
Still has yet to suit up for the Engineers, so we'll have to continue to work on getting those for you.
Orval, long outlet pass, broken up, pops right back to Nanny. Nanny trying to hand it off again, and maybe one too many passes there as the Tigers move it down all the way down the ice. Stopped there by Hackett, bouncing puck, didn't really stop it, just kind of slowed its motion. As it's centered and out in front, Orval, good defensive play to swat it to center ice. McKay back to get it. You are listening to RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. 11:50 left in the second period of a 3-2 RPI lead in this one. A little more RPI Atlantic Hockey, or ECAC versus Atlantic Hockey action. A couple of games between cross-conference foes. Here's a centering pass, deflected, and Hackett with the save. There wasn't a lot on it when it finally got to him, but he had to be aware of the puck through some bodies, and now we get some pushing and shoving.
That was a nice glove save by Cam Hackett. I think that one might have been heading wide, but really, nevertheless, a good move by Cam Hackett to get himself over there to grab that one. It certainly had a lot less on it than I think he expected, and he was able to get there in time to make the stop with 11:34 remaining in the second period. A face-off coming up to the right of Cam Hackett.
Draw coming up here. Tigers win it. Norrish fires it down low. It bounces off some skates and goes behind the net. There was a good bit of tying up of sticks going on in front of the goal. Not allowing the Tigers to get a shot away. And there's a giveaway. Pass out in front, and they couldn't find him. It was DeVito who was wide open there. Now back come the Tigers the other way, 3-on-2, although Lidgergren back checks to break up the play. Reno into the offensive zone. He'll slide it down low. Wood over skates. Played there by Brubaker. And now he turns it over. Jam try in front by Wood. That one, I think, went wide of the net. Engineers buzzing in the offensive zone halfway through the second period. This one shot all the way down. Trying to track it down. Engineers looking to outlet the puck ahead. Trying to catch the Tigers in a change. It's Reisinger. And now Rodriguez fanned on the first try to keep it in, and now it's out to center. Tommy Grant back to pick it up at his own blue line. Hard off the glass, but it doesn't leave the zone. Might have hit the linesman, and that allows the Tigers to move it in. Centering pass out in front. That eludes everybody, and now Rodriguez back the other direction. Chipped off the glass. Rodriguez takes a hit as he stumbles to the ice. Tigers have it in their own zone. Norrish trying to work it up the far boards to center off a skate. On they come into the attack. Left at the side of the cage for Hackett, up the wall. Polino, touch pass for Rodriguez in the near circle. Back to Polino, had it on his backhand, didn't know what to do with it and lost it. Back comes RIT through center. Some stick work there from Reisinger. Didn't take a penalty though, so that'll do. Prapavesis now through center ice. Knocked down at center, stolen away. Tierney's wants to take a slapper, comes hard off the glass. Picked up at the near side by Bourbonnais, threw it in front, hit a couple of sticks, including Tierney's, but nothing on goal. Whacked to the near side of the RIT zone by Wilson. Engineers touch up as a couple were offside. Tigers now far side, all the way down the ice. They wave off the icing. They'll say it was touched. Wilson there, behind the cage. Wraps it far side. Melanson can't find it. Shot right back in on Hackett. Makes a bit of an awkward looking save, but he keeps it out of the net. As it's chipped near side for Reno. Parker Reno carries to center. On the move is Reno. Fed across, some room there. Rister coming, and a save by Rotolo on Tierney's. We get a stoppage. 9 minutes to go in the second. It's 3-2 RPI.
Well, I've got a score update on the goal by RIT. 4:01 of the second period, a 4-on-4 goal. I'm giving it to Abbott Jurdukas, the sophomore out of Belleville, Ontario, with the assists going to Matt Abt and Brady Norrish. But I also believe that can't also possibly be right because Matt Abt was serving a penalty at the time, so they are
we'll get that straightened
probably over 3 in the 3 goals scored during the second period. We'll get it figured out sooner, hopefully sooner rather than later, as far as who's actually responsible for all these goals. Our thought process was that Gabe Valenzuela was the one that scored.
He did.
For RIT to make it a 3-2 Engineers lead. We do know that Mike Prapavesis scored on the power play. We do know that Evan Tierney scored a wraparound even strength goal 33 seconds later, and we know that RIT scored 4-on-4. So that's where we stand. With 9 minutes remaining in the second period, RPI holds a 3-2 edge over the visiting Tigers from RIT.
Draw coming here after they clear off some ice. Shots so far in this one, 15-11 Engineers, 8-6 in the period. Only 3 penalties. That's not right. Well, the 2 were,
there
sorry,
there
5,
seems to be
right.
much that is not right with
No, there's 5 penalties. They were offsetting, or they were coincidental. Puck behind the net, and here's Bourbonnais. Forgot about that. The one that Riley took was also with App. Now we have a penalty. Speaking of penalties, power play coming up for RPI. As it was Brubaker, who wasn't really looking where he was going on his way to the box and ran into one of the linesmen. Anyway, power play here for RPI. It's going to be a slashing call on Brubaker. We'll send in the Engineers to the power play for the 3rd time. They're 1 for 2.
And if the Engineers' power play can click as well as they were late in the first period and early in the second period, then they might be in line to get themselves back that 2-goal cushion that they lost with that goal by Valenzuela.
So we do have some changes to the scoring. We'll get those to you in a moment's time, but the Engineers are on the power play, so we'll tell you about that. Here's Wilson up top for Tierney, fires through a screen, hops up in on Rotolo, still loose, puck still not covered, and where's the puck? Hands go up, but not the Engineers. It was the referees saying play is stopped.
Yeah, the puck was sitting just to the left of Rotolo. I think it was Melanson that was trying to dig it out of his own skates, and that was about the time that the net came loose, which ended the play. So we should see the faceoff staying in the RPI zone. I think that was knocked off by an RIT player. Now,
yeah, I believe
are
so.
they
Yeah, they're talking about it.
should,
Yeah, where it should go.
It could be discussing a delay of game penalty here. That's what my thought process is as to
they're
whether
going to go look at this on the monitor.
This must be one of the many new things that can be reviewed. I don't think they could possibly be reviewing a goal because the puck didn't seem to be anywhere really near the line. I'm sure we'll get an opportunity to take a look. By the time the play was blown dead, it was certainly well to the right. It wasn't even in the crease by the time that the play was blown dead. So we're now getting an opportunity to look. The puck was in front of Rotolo for some time. Then it squirted off to his left. Oh, that might be what they're looking at. Smith certainly moves the cage very deliberately. I'm not sure that if they're able to review something like that. He moves the cage. That's certainly, if it's not something they can review, that RIT certainly got away with what should be a delay of game call. But I guess the question is whether Orval was able to put the puck into the net before the net was removed. And Orval did take a shot. It seems to hit Rotolo in the right skate, which was mostly in the net at the time. So it's entirely possible that this is going to result in a goal for the Engineers, despite what happened. From my vantage point, looking at it live, I thought that the puck was down in Orval's skates when the net came loose in the first place. But after looking at the overhead view, it does look like Orval was able to get a shot off before Smith very deliberately from his knees pushes the net off of its moorings. At any rate, given the rule on moving the net, if the puck is shown to be over the line, whether the net was in place or not, it can be counted as a goal for the Engineers. So we'll see what the ruling is going to be. They're waving it off, no goal, and the face-off is going to be coming up in the RPI end. I can't really disagree with this call too much. It's hard to see from the overhead view whether the puck ever fully crossed the line, either before or after the net was dislodged. Now it looks like the face-off is going to come out just outside the zone, which is kind of a tough break for RPI because
Right.
the net was certainly dislodged by an RIT player, and from looking at it, it was a very deliberate motion to dislodge the net in the first place. So no goal for RPI and kind of a triple whammy. The puck comes out of the zone and they don't get an extra penalty out of it for delay of game.
And the visual evidence wasn't there to call it a goal, but the brain
kind of says it might
that's
have
a
been
goal.
one.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance it crossed the line. Unfortunately, fortunately for Rotolo, his leg and skates were covering where the puck actually was. And it's one of those things where if you can't see it, you can't. It's like any good trial, any good.
Clear and uncontrovertible evidence.
Yeah, absolutely. What Tom said, as Tierney sets things up on the power play here, fed to the far point from Wilson. He'll fire one towards goal. It was blocked away by the defense and shot all the way down. Hackett stops it here. Waiting. Hackett just chips it off the far boards for Riley. 46 seconds to go on the RPI power play. 7:27 left in the second. It's Riley just ringing one in from neutral ice, right in on Rotolo, who has to hold on.
Yeah, as I said, kind of a triple whammy for RPI because not only do they not get the goal, they also probably should have gotten an extra 5-on-3 power play out of it since it was a deliberate shoving motion to dislodge the net. And then on top of all of that, the ensuing power play ended up outside the zone.
Defensive zone face-off win for the Tigers. They shoot it all the way down. Shots are 18-11 RPI. He had 41 shots last night to the Engineers. Hayhurst juggling it in the air. Glove down by Riley. He looks like he maybe got kneed or spun to the ice. Either way, we play on. It turns into a shot for Logan. And Hackett made a left pad save. Back comes RPI once more. Certainly letting a few more things go here as it's fed to the far side of the ice. Littles are going to drive right on, and Rotolo made the stop. And that's Hayhurst doing the job as setup man once again. He does have 1 assist this year, but he seems like he should have more.
Well, he does have more.
This today.
We will
today.
clean this up a little bit. We have some official scoring on the 2 RPI goals in the second period. Power play goal by Mike Kravitz, his first of the year at 108. Made 2-1 RPI with the assists to Riley Bourbonnais and Jacob Hayhurst. The Evan Tierney's goal was assisted by Jake Wood and Parker Reno.
Right off the draw, a shot, and the second one goes wide from Nanny. And now here comes Valenzuela, but he can't control. Moved it into the offensive end. We couldn't get the shot off. Back come the Tigers. Brown into the offensive zone. He gets bumped by Grant. Rung around by Manley to the far side. Kept in McKay. Shot deflects in the air. Bouncing puck still. And this is going to be a hand pass, but the Engineers will gladly take that over what could have happened. That puck just kind of floating in the air, and anyone who wants to get their stick on it could have. Fortunately, no one did, and RPI clears it out using the hand.
At even strength, RPI seems to be playing with a little bit more flair than they should be with the puck when it's in their own zone. Kind of a lucky break there for the Engineers. And we'll see the face-off coming up to the left of Cam Hackett, who's having a short conversation with Katie Clay.
Face-off to Hackett's left. Manley back there. Fans want a penalty as Wood was upended off the draw. Now a rebound out in front. And Karam's around to the far side for Cairns. Back to the point now. Shot through traffic. Looking for a deflection. Brown, another shot was blocked, loosened his skates. He'll feed one in and he scores. It's Brown, Eric Brown with the goal, stuck to it. Engineers have, I'm not sure what the questioning is of the play there. It was just Brown who kept battling and fighting and found the puck and stuck it in.
Well, that's just exactly what I was talking about. RPI playing with fire in their own end, and they looked very out of sorts on defense. And when you let any team do that, let alone a team that has the size and capacity of RIT, when you give them that opportunity to hold the zone like that, it's just asking for trouble. And just like that, we're all square once more with just under 6 minutes remaining in the second period. We're tied at 3.
Here's Polino into the offensive end. His shot right on, a save by Rotolo. Chipped off the back wall. And now work to the point. Reno fed up the boards. Chipped high in the air to center ice. Back to pick it up is Parker Reno. Now Polino on it again. Far side. Reisinger drop past Polino. Polino walking in, and he fired wide of the right post. Fed out to center. RIT has numbers if they can find the puck. A nice job bottling it up over there. That was Wilson defensively as Polino throws his weight around to the offensive zone, knocking down Caleb Cameron. Into the offensive end, it's Apt, and he fires wide. He'll continue to fight for it. Apt not afraid to jump into the attack here for RIT. Now a wraparound try never got to the net as it was broken up by Prapavesis. Cross-ice feed onto the tape of Tyranese. Into the offensive zone. Riley fans on this shot, and it's picked up and cleared by Gerdukis. Now Smith trying to drive on Prapavesis. He'll try the wraparound, and he got it as far as the far post. Couldn't steer it on goal, and Hackett covers.
Scoring for the RIT Tigers, an even strength goal at 14:05 of the second period. Goal scored by Eric Brown, his third goal of the year, with the assist going to Liam Cairns, who notches his third assist of the season.
Face off, that one left the zone. RIT brought it back in. So I would draw outside the RPI end. 4:32 on the clock, now in a 3-3 game. That one left the ice, so we'll do it again. Just a couple seconds off the clock.
It looked like RPI was ready to kind of lower the hammer with scoring 2 goals 33 seconds apart early in the first period, but it kind of seemed like they weren't able to take that momentum hardly at all, and by the time RIT cut that lead in half, that momentum was completely gone, and now we see the Engineers playing back on their heels, and RIT is more than happy to go forward with it.
Smith trying to center was broken up by Wilson. Villette far side, that one hammered wide by Chase Norrish. And now Wilson will play it up the near boards. Fed on further. That one's intercepted, however, by Hayhurst, and now played to center ice by Orval. Steered right back towards the RPI zone, but it's Reno shooting it all the way down. They wave off the icing. Behind the goal, Kruper far side. Scoot back into the offensive zone. That was played by an RIT stick and not an RPI one, so we play on. It would have been offsides if it had been the other way around. There's an Engineer pretty far up ice. Now Wood steals away and goes down, but backhands it in deep. First one to it is Brody Villette as the Tigers break out neatly to center. Moving in, a wrist shot and a save by Hackett, and the try by Logan. Didn't hold it, but steered it to the corner. Back out to center. It's Brubaker, who gets run into here by DeVito. Liljegren plays it backwards all the way to Hackett. Manley played it up the near wall. Right back to the middle of the ice. Good outlet pass by Grant, on for Liljegren. On further for Tyranese. Liljegren going to the net, trying to find him. We're going to get a penalty coming up here on RIT. A delayed call as the Engineers have it out in front. A shot by Riley was broken up. And now Tyranese behind the net, and we get a whistle there as Riley, frustrated with himself, takes a whack at an RIT player. He hopes to not take anything extra there. Doesn't look like he will.
I think this is a call that doesn't get called last year. We're kind of on that theme. Another holding call. Just a little bit of a hold up by Perrin Fontaine. Bourbonnais was coming into the zone. He didn't have the puck with him. Just a ever so slight, kind of holding back of the guy in front of him, and he's getting called for holding. So RPI going back on the power play.
So we get a power play here for RPI. They're 1 for 3. Here's Prapavesis. Down low. Bourbonnais at the wall. To the goal line extended. Up top, Prapavesis. Far side one-timer try by Riley. And the save was made by Rotolo. Riley again, back up top for Prapavesis. And now turning with it is Hayhurst at the point, spins away. Center blue line, Prapavesis. Far side finds Riley. Across to the near side for Hayhurst, and that one deflects over the glass and out of play. We'll have a stoppage here.
Well, I think the fans are calling for a delay of game because it went off of an RIT stick in the defensive zone, but that's not a rule that extends to college. That's solely in the NHL. And afterwards, their attention was immediately turned to ensure that the puck was immediately distributed to young child, and it was thusly accomplished.
All right, good stuff. There's a clearing effort, hit off a shin pad. Karams to the near side corner of the RIT zone. 2 minutes to go in the second in a 3-3 game. They bottle things up in the far corner now of the Tigers' end. Work back to the point. Up top, Wilson. One-timer, they score! A power play goal! And it's Jared Wilson. Once again, he hammered that one over the left shoulder of Rotolo. 4-3 RPI.
I'll tell you, that puck was looked about the size of a pill coming at Rotolo. That was just absolutely ripped. We were talking about this earlier with Jared Wilson. He moved up a little bit from where we usually see him. Usually we see him right at the top of the slot, maybe even right near or on the blue line when he's taking shots like that. This time he takes one from the top of the left faceoff circle, puts it right past Rotolo, gives the Engineers the lead again. It is 4-3 RPI.
Right back comes Nanny, throws it off the back of the net. He'll backhand it out in front. Wilson, why not try again? Rotolo makes the save. And now we get some pushing and shoving after the play.
Will's had a little less zip on that shot, but a little easier for Rotolo to knock down. But some more truculence between these two sides right after that shot.
It was Valenzuela and Wood, who are about the same size, getting into one there. It was an even fight there. They might get both penalties here.
So the scoring on RPI's fourth goal, a power play goal by Jared Wilson, his third of the year at 18:36. The assists, I believe, went to Tyrannese and Melanson.
Yep.
And your score is 4-3 with 1:32 remaining, and RPI is about to go on the penalty kill. I didn't see that exactly what they were calling. It had to be something of the pushing and shoving that Jake Wood is.
I think they're going to
has been set
both
off.
go off here. So we might have
two.
we might have 5-on-5 or 4-on-4. I mean,
won't be the first time tonight, but our RPI certainly needs to continue to stay wary here, as one of RIT's 3 goals did come on a 4-on-4 opportunity.
Yep, it was the I believe the. I thought it was Valenzuela.
We still think it was Valenzuela, but it still
not
says
Gerdukis.
Gerdukis. We'll have to ask about that. But the thing that really sets off alarm bells on what it says Gerdukis is it also says Matt Apt as the primary assist, which is completely impossible.
All right.
Sitting in the penalty box.
All right, well, we'll sort that out between periods. Right now, what matters is RPI leads 4-3, as Reno has it now. Ahead for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais on further for Hayhurst. Sneaks through him and all the way down the ice. Tigers have it. Far side of their own zone. A little bit of speed through center. Here they come. Fed near side by Powell. He's backhanded in front. Wilson trying to sweep it away. Chop back to the corner. Hayhurst has it there. 1 minute left in the second. Engineers back on top by a goal. A power play tally by Wilson. And now Hayhurst turning with it there. Lost the handle. Back come the Tigers. 2-on-2. Into the offensive end. Drop pass there. Broken up by Bourbonnais. Had a man breaking, but couldn't find him. And now it's Grant to lead the rush. 30 seconds to go in the period. We're still 4-on-4. Some space from Melanson. He takes a shot. That one's way high and wide off the glass. Picked up far side. That was Brady Norrish. He'll skate it out to center. Has a man with him. As they work it to the near side wall, it's Norrish. He gets bumped. Puck comes to Brown. Brown shielding from Prapavesis. Back to Norrish. Up top. Bouncing puck. Skipped away from Valette and out to center. That'll do it for the second period. Lots of goals. 3 for the Engineers, 2 for the Tigers, and RPI has a 4-3 lead after 2 periods.
Well, I think we're starting to see exactly what RPI needs to accomplish on the power play in order to get things done. They only had 2 power play goals heading into this evening's contest, and they have 2 in this period, one from Mike Prapavesis and one from Jared Wilson. And when RPI is being successful on the power play, they're probably going to get an awful lot of goals from those 2 guys. That's the reason that they were recruited, why they were brought to Troy, was to be offensive-minded defensemen. They have size, they can dish it out in the defensive zone. But Mike Prapavesis especially has been keen to take the puck and go places with it. And both of those gentlemen have some serious shots that they can unleash from the blue line. That's why they're here, and Both of them have converted here in the second period to make it a 4-3 lead for RPI heading into the final 20 minutes of regulation.
With that, we will take a quick break and be back with our second intermission. Your score once again after 2 is RPI 4 and RIT 3. You're listening to RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Stop signs, yield signs.
Of offering learn to skate classes right here at Houston Fieldhouse on Saturday mornings. Classes are for all ages. If you'd like more information, go to the web at hmfsc.org. would like to thank GE, Moe's, Simpkin, CDPHP, The Rock, Boucher and Clark Financial Group, Price Chopper, Asco Fence, Yankee Trails, Redfern Pizza, Tri-City Reynolds, Dunkin' Donuts, Freeman Peterson Incorporated, Jolene Morris of Really USA, Ben and Jerry's, Warren W. Fane, Auto Tax, Bone and Joint Center, Capital Region Orthopedics, CNS Companies, and Tri-City Valley Pass, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey.
Long for you Jones, reminding you to stay safe on the ice this winter. But if you are injured in a car accident, call. Good consultation, good advice. We're hometown attorneys, we're here to help.
Another big weekend of hockey here at Houston Fieldhouse next week. The women take on Cornell University October 28th weekend. Come on out and support the women's hockey team. And the men's hockey team takes on Union next Friday night, October 28th. Black Friday. Don't forget, purchase your tickets. Let's black out Friday's game. RPI students get a free ticket when you wear black. Puck drops at Houston Fieldhouse, 7 o'clock, October 28th. Black Friday, ECAC opener against Union.
Once again, that is WRPI.org.
Third period upcoming here. Cam Hackett looking to pick up his first win of the season. He was very good here at the Houston Fieldhouse last year. I remember he came in when Jason Kasdorf was injured and performed very well. I believe he was undefeated in his first 6 outings, including a couple of big wins here against Brown and Yale.
He really turned a lot of heads, and it wasn't the only reason why he was the rookie goaltender of the year for the ECAC. But it showed that he has the capacity to be a regular starter in Division I hockey. And RPI comes into the season looking very blessed to have 2 netminders that could could hold that role. A lot of teams usually have one guy who's their go-to guy, another guy who's a pretty clear number 2. But heading into the season and even early on so far, we're seeing that RPI has 2 netminders that have the capacity to be starters. But as a team, the defense certainly needs to be a little bit more on lockdown going forward.
Underway here in the third period. Tigers from behind their own goal. We have 18 more seconds of 4-on-4 action as the RIT club will dump it in. Played there by Tyrannies. He'll drop it off for Wilson, quickly across for Reno. Back to the near side, Jared Wilson jumps into the attack now. On the move in the offensive zone, fed on further to the near corner for Tyrannies. He gets tied up with his man. Now we got a penalty coming up here. I think they're going to get Tyrannies for holding the stick. Wilson's going to touch up. And there's the whistle. It's going to be a hold on Evan Tyrannies. So after both players just come out of the box, ending the 4-on-4, RIT will go to the power play down to goal just 40 seconds into the third period.
And this is just RPI's second penalty kill of the game. They were able to kill off their first one, which was a shortened one because it was a penalty that was taken while RPI was on the power play. It was a tripping call against Mike Prapavesis, but since then the RPI penalties have been taken simultaneously with RIT penalties. So RIT back to the power play. They are 0 for 1 this evening.
This one shot all the way down by the Engineers right off the draw. RPI's penalty kill, while it did give up 2 goals last night, still 92.3% coming into play. And they are 1 for 1 so far this evening. Here comes Powell into the offensive zone, stops far side. He'll hold it up there. Tigers did not have a full power play from which to work. In fact, it was only about 30 seconds. This one, as it stands, should be the full allotment of time that they may or should need. Is a jam try at the far post. Hackett has it covered, and he covers up the possible rebound in front of him.
This is a crucial moment in this game since it's just a 1-goal contest. RIT has not had many opportunities on the power play, as we've just been mentioning, so certainly not something that they can afford to kind of skate past. They've really got to push forward for that tying goal here.
Draw, flip to the near side boards. It's Norrish trying to keep it in, but gets it as far as Wilson, who just flips it all the way down the near side of the ice. Now Chase Norrish to pick it up behind the RIT cage. It's Mike Rotolo in there since relieving Christian Short, has 12 saves and has allowed 1 of the 4 goals in this game. Right now he would be the loser, however. Life's not fair sometimes. This puck is hammered around off the stick of Brubaker. Up top for Norrish. Down low into the skates of, looks like Valenzuela. He can't control, and the Engineers will whack it towards the near boards, and Orbanay will find some open ice and fire it all the way down. It takes a hop off the Zamboni door. Second time that's happened tonight. Neither of them have resulted directly in goals, but it has turned some heads at least, and it's the Tigers who now move it into the offensive zone. Played behind the goal. Prapavesis there, the junior defenseman, can't clear the zone. Neither can Melanson on a second effort, but a third try gets the job done. Prapavesis out of Oakville, Ontario, looking for his first point of the year. Clears it defensively here on the kill. Tigers working it near side, flip to center for no one in particular. Right to Grant, he'll fire it right back in, and they'll just about do it for the power play. Not much doing there for RIT as Tyrannies is out of the box. Puck to the RPI line, played ahead off of Paulino. A lot of mustard on that pass from Wilson as it comes right back to him. And now played ahead for Tyrannies, 3-on-2 into the zone. Shot coming high and wide. It'll come down out of the zone, far side. Poked on further. Parkerino trying to find it there. He's being pressured by Cameron, or make that Brown rather. Works behind the RPI goal. Loose there, poked away by Hackett. And now shot back behind the cage. It'll rattle around to the near side for Caleb Cameron. Breaking out now is Wilson. At the end of a very long shift, he'll just fire it into the corner and go off on a change. Apt up the far side boards. Grant misses a hit and runs into the RIT bench, but allows Manley to pick it up in his own zone. Fed to the near side RPI blue line for DeVito. He lost it there to Peacock. And it'll be filtered deep into the Engineers' end. Here comes Tommy Grant far side. His outlet pass is broken up, and now a chance for the Tigers. 2-on-1 down low. walking behind the net. RPI does a good job back-checking there and denying the pass in front. Now Norrish, that's Brady can't control. Wood just ran right into him, and the puck goes all the way down the ice. Brubaker picked away by Wood, looking to center. Good defensive stick. It was Brady Norrish who was the one who lost the puck earlier, jumping back into the play to deny Wood of a centering pass. 15:50 to go, third period. 4-3 is the RPI lead. As it's played into the Engineers' end of the ice, Prapavesis has it there. A couple RIT players on the forecheck run into each other, and that allows Prapavesis to escape out the far side. Played up the middle by the Engineers, controlled there by Peacock. In the neutral zone, he'll dump it in again. Evan Tierney's, the sophomore from Qualicum Beach, continues his hot scoring play, but they give it away at the side of the net. And a jam try is pushed just wide. On a try by Logan, looked innocent enough, but the Engineers cough up the puck right in front of their goal. But the Tigers can't make them pay. To the far side now, it's Mikowski. Carried to the near side corner. He looks to cycle. It's broken up there by Prapavesis, but they stay on the puck. Centering pass sat in the crease for a moment, but the Engineers knock it out of there. Bourbonnais on the carry, gets it as far as the red line before playing it to the RIT line. Turned back quickly by Valette. Stopping at the far point is Perron Fontaine. Shot in front, blocked by Reno. And the Engineers are able to clear out. Reno playing a little goaltender there in front of Hackett. Not exactly what you want all the time, but it got the job done there. And now stolen away by Nanny again. He's tripped on it, up on his way into the zone, but this time does not draw a penalty. Far side Apt down the middle of the ice, all the way down and in on Hackett, so no icing here, and he will cover to get a stoppage. 14:25 left as now Wilson takes exception to Brown taking a whack at the glove hand of Hackett, defending his goaltender. We're going to get some players that need to be separated here. Can't blame Wilson for going after Brown there.
Yeah, probably not, but they're both going to go. Wilson really took him and pretty much slammed off against the boards. And then Brown arguably took a gloved punch at Wilson in the interim and kind of almost knocked his helmet off of his head. So both of them will be seated. I would say probably roughing for, maybe both of them.
Possibly both.
Depends on what you want to call it, hitting after the whistle. We've seen that called here this evening. It's one of those things where it's which one do you want to call this? It doesn't really much matter. They're both minor penalties, so we should be seeing.
Well, right now they're saying Eric Brown plays for the Engineers, and that is why his penalty is on the RPI side of the board. Not the case. They'll fix that.
Fans really get agitated over that. You know, it's almost like, oh, it says that on the board. It must be true. Well, the board operators are human too. So it's a slashing call against Brown, and I believe a roughing.
Hitting after the whistle.
Hitting after the slashing call against Wilson. Hitting after the whistle against Brown.
Okay.
Or vice versa. I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
We're playing 4-on-4.
At any rate, it's 4-on-4 again.
Third time tonight that the teams have put two men in the box at the same time. As the RPI fans are now excited
about there appearing to be a power play on the board. They still have to put it up there. No, they still.
Oh my goodness! You could put anything up there. You could put a picture of a puppy up there and they'd react. Well, I guess anyone could. Anyway,
I would react.
Yeah, Tom would react. Yes. 4-on-4 hockey as it's Riley Bourbonnais to carry it out to center. Yeah, Hayhurst has to wait for him at the blue line, so that allows the Tigers to take over. As it's going to be Norrish moving it through center. He'll backhand it into the RPI zone. Carried behind by Norrish, the defenseman, and now played to the near side circle, setting up on a 4-on-4 try. That one deflects off a leg and goes off the glass and back out to center. Brady Norrish picks it up there. 3 assists coming into tonight's game on the season. Has another one today for 4 on the year. Prapavesis with a poke check in the far corner on Valenzuela. Down low it goes for Cairns. He gets run into by Grant. Minute 15 left of this 4-on-4. And now played back to the far point. A shot through a screen, and that one deflects just wide. And the try by Chase Norrish. It was headed for the near post. Hackett slid over, and then the puck got deflected wickedly towards the far side, but wide of the net by about 1.5 feet. Puck at center, sat in the dot for a moment. Poke free by Bourbonnais, stolen away by Melanson. 50 seconds left of this 4-on-4. Tommy Grant took his eye off the puck and fanned on the outlet pass. Second try finds Tyrannese. Melanson joining him 2-on-2 in the zone. Backhander on goal. Save made by Rotolo, and he will glove it there.
Those are the two guys that you want out there on the 4-on-4 if you're RPI. It's Evan Tyrannese and Drew Melanson. Those guys both have a significant amount of speed. Maybe you want to try and add Jacob Hayhurst to the mix if you feel like you can get away with 3 forwards, but maybe RPI needs to make sure they're a little cleaner on the 4-on-4 so far. This weekend they have not looked strong, and they're kind of getting pushed around on 4-on-4, which shouldn't be happening. They have a lot of guys with a good amount of speed. That's usually what wins out in situations like that.
RIT does have a 4-on-4 goal tonight. Scored by Gabe Valenzuela in that second period. No goals so far here in the third. It's been that kind of an odd game. But anyway, Tyrannese carries in. He lost the puck. Brubaker back to pick it up behind his own goal. Still plenty of time left in this one. 12:40 to go in the third period. Puck played to the far side for Parker Reno. Fakes a shot, takes a shot. That one slid along the ice and wide. All the way out to the near point, kept in Manley, but he threw it right into Powell. And now he tosses it back into the zone again, but after crossing the blue line, a couple engineers want to touch up. They'll actually go off on a change. Both teams are back to even as Powell lost the puck, picked up by Wood. RPI will skate it out 4-on-2. Into the zone, near side, they're onside. Grant a shot, a right pad kick save made by Rotolo. Davilo back to the point for Prapavesis. Far side, Grant. He'll fire it right into the shin pad of Cameron, and the puck's back out into the RPI end. Prapavesis claims it there. We're 8 minutes into the third period. 4-3 is the RPI lead. That one up into the midsection of Valette, and it's turned right back up ice 3-on-3 across the line, and they're offside. And a rather nonchalant call from our linesman on the near side, and that being Michael Noeth. Stops play.
11:51 remaining in the third period. RPI holding on to a 4-3 lead over RIT. 5 goals scored between these two squads in the second period, but so far none here in the third period.
Back to their own zone. Engineers off a neutral zone win. Prapavesis threw it off a man in front of him. Gets it as far as Polino, who will skate it out towards center. Outlet pass in the air, too far for Reisinger, and that'll be icing on RPI.
This is kind of where we start to see if RPI's got the skates in order to close out this game. See if their conditioning is in a position that'll allow them to come away with a victory. They've got 11:36 left in this one. They do have the lead, but it's a tenuous one, just 1 goal as the faceoff comes up to the right of Cam Hackett.
McKay, a one-timer off the draw, but Hackett saw it well and just steered it to the corner with the blocker. Far side, they dig away. RIT comes out with it, shot right on, and a save again by Hackett. And again, he does not allow a rebound. His rebound control tonight has been far above average.
RIT is definitely showing the initiative that they need in order to make sure that they stay in this game. They know that they're very much a part of it, only down 1. They're doing a good job over the last 3 minutes or so, basically since the beginning of the 4-on-4 that was caused by the penalties to Wilson and Brown, of really maintaining puck control.
Puck poked towards the middle of the slot, carried on further. This shot comes from a tight angle, steered away by Hackett on the try by Mikowski. Again, they're behind the net. Here's a wraparound try, swept out of the zone, soft enough to avoid the icing. Back to pick it up is Brady Norrish for the Tigers. Up the wall now. Hit thrown along the near boards by Liljegren on Mikowski. Puck trickling to the far side of the Tigers' end. Norrish will help it around to the near side half wall. Mikowski kicks at it, plays it along. Here comes Perron Fontaine into the RPI zone. Drop pass, top of the circle. Shot coming, save made by Hackett as he squeezed the pads together on the try by Logan. And as the Engineers will come away with it and head back the other way. Shots even now at 25 apiece. Now 26-25 RIT after that one. As taking a hit there was Wood. He'll go off on a change. High off the glass to center. 6-2, mind you, the shots here in this third period in favor of RIT. It's the first time they've held the advantage in shots, although, of course, the period not quite even halfway over. Puck played far side, too far for the intended target, Brown. Grant wins the race, icing on the visitors.
I think for RPI, what they need to do is kind of just try and pick their spot. RIT's got the initiative. They've, as I mentioned, they've got the puck control recently. In the last couple of years, we've seen RPI as a team that can really kind of counter pretty well, and when the faceoff's down in the attacking zone, but even when they're defending, they need to kind of check their spots to see if they can create an odd man rush at some point.
Draw here, one to the near side and scooped off the glass. Tigers have cleared all the way down the ice again. Will this be icing? They wave it off. So Will Riley has to go back and pick it up, and he gives it away. Brown fell down as he was trying to center, and just ended up throwing it off the back of the net. That'll allow the Engineers to clear it out to center. Brady Norrish dumping it in. Puck behind the RPI goal once more. Riley has it there. Off for Riley Bourbonnais, and now here's Tyranese. He'll dump it in near side. He'll carry him off the end wall. Carried by Burbaker, to center ice. Good connection. Here's Valenzuela, 1-on-3 into the RPI zone. Still Valenzuela. Good poke check by Prapovesis. He'll use the wall near side for an indirect pass to Tyranese, who finishes the dump in by playing it all the way down. Here is Apt now for the Tigers. Drops it back a bit from McKay, who crosses center and rings it in off the glass behind Hackett. Wilson in the near corner. Stick handles away from some forecheck pressure, and it's stolen away. Centering pass all the way up top. Shot by Apt off the crossbar. Loose in front. Another shot stopped by Hackett. It's between his legs, I think, and now we get a big pile up on top of Hackett. Looks like 8, maybe 9 of the skaters out there are on top of him.
You say everyone but Mike Rotolo, who's skating over towards the bench.
They're in the crease, and now 2 more have paired off outside the crease. What a scrum there. Hackett is scrambling to try and get out from under the pile, but it's tough when everyone's lying on you.
RIT was unlucky not to get a goal there, at least twice. The initial shot rung off the crossbar, and then the rebound from that shot off the crossbar ended up right on the stick of an RIT player, and that was something that could have been buried and wasn't. So RPI kind of playing with fire now as far as the kind of defensive game that they're playing. Well, they're gonna have to redo it because of the scrum that was going on under Hackett. I'm reasonably certain after looking at the initial replay though that the puck never got really terribly close to the line, or at least it never went over. We're taking a look at the overhead view now. I can't even see. The puck is just under a scrum of players. It almost looks like a rugby scrum.
Yeah, I mean a little bit. Would be look like in rugby they'd have to do that one over again.
This is the we're looking at the aftermath now.
The ball never got put in.
Yeah, we're looking at the aftermath now, and the puck's clearly not in the net, and there it is now. It's courts out. I mean, that's you already had.
I think
you had referees that were plucking players off the pile at that point. So
I think they wanted to see what happened again. Why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these
opportunity
games,
to relive the moment. While we're talking about the officials, it's worth pointing out that one of the officials, Katie Guai, I believe this is the first RPI men's hockey game that has a woman as one of the officials.
Yeah,
so
it's very neat, and it's benchmark. Right, and it's big, and hopefully that continues. Hopefully we see more female referees in the men's game. Obviously, they're able to skate. That's not never been the issue. I don't think ever was really an issue. But she is the one who comes out and waves off the goal, as a matter of fact. So,
well, they say if you can play, you can play.
Absolutely.
If you can ref, you can ref.
Absolutely. And she's been a good job. We've seen it in the past of referees becoming very, very noticeable, and she has not. Everything penalty-wise, not that I have to agree with everything, but it's been a well-called game, and she obviously a part of that. So
given the apparent NCAA dictate that certain things be called, this has certainly been a well-officiated game when it comes to penalties. It's about what you would want to expect from a regular game instead of what we have seen to some extent. For instance, RPI going 13 for 13 on the penalty kill in their exhibition contest against McGill. It was a little extreme, but now we're just kind of waiting for the ice crew to finish up. We have 9:04 remaining in the third period. The puck is coming outside of the RPI zone for the face-off. And that is where we stand with just over 9 minutes left. RPI with a 4-3 lead.
Face-off here in the neutral zone. It'll be Hayhurst to take it. He's one of the best RPI has so far this year. We're still early on in the season, of course. Just the 4 games in. This one's wrapped in by the Tigers. Around to the near side board. Shot from the point blocked, and now trying to skate with it is Hayhurst. Stick handling away from Norrish. He takes a high hit from Norrish, and oh my goodness, I can't believe that one. Took 2 hands right to the head and went down hard. Luckily, for him. He's up very quickly. Now we do get a stoppage. I'm not sure what the whistle went for in the end, but maybe it's held by the it's held by the keeper, right? I'm off looking somewhere else, and the puck's in the glove of Rotolo.
That wasn't a dangerous up high hit. And then another one just could have been called an elbow. I'm not sure who that was, either receiving or taking that one, but just to the side of it. So RIT getting away with a couple of big hits there, but that's the kind of game they play. They're a big physical team.
Yeah, Hayhurst might have slipped down a bit to kind of aid that the high hit on him, and he's also not very tall to begin with, but very happy to see him bounce right back up and continue on. This is one of those things you can see a guy down for a while after taking one like that. Anyway, puck back in the RPI zone. We got maybe a hand pass here. What's the call? There's a whistle.
Well, the puck staying in the zone,
yeah,
so hand
right.
pass would make some sense.
And if it is, the Engineers are benefiting here. As you are listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. It was Abbott Gerdukis who was walking right out to the side of the RPI goal and the whistle went. So Engineers will take that whistle no matter what it was for. Tie up along the near side half boards. Puck played behind the goal. Here's Tyrannese. He's tripped up and goes down. And looks like the referees have swallowed their whistles here in the third. As I believe that last night that would have certainly been a tripping call. And now Tyrannese again trying to battle for it. Gets his tied up with the stick of Mikowski. And now played off the glass and all the way down. Race for the puck, and they say Melanson beat it out. No icing. Now Bourbonnais went down but plays it to the near side. Under 8 to go in the third. Past Reno into RPI's end. Stopped there. Nice move to get free. The shot from Logan went wide in the end. As that was a good defensive stick by one of the Engineers to not allow him to get exactly what he wanted on that shot. Fed far side, tipped into the offensive zone. Trying to chase it down is Brown. He has been dynamic here for this RIT team. Tosses it back out. Valenzuela fanned on the shot and elected to pass in the end. And Prapavesis trying to beat Cairns to the puck. Picked up in the corner now. This is Brown. Cairns and Prapavesis still battling. They both went to the ice. We play on. Fed to the far point. Apt fakes the shot. Takes the shot. Blocked by Bourbonnais. And it's out to center. RIT will have to restart there. They'll just lob it in to Hackett. He will eventually hold on. He was going to play it, but there were no Engineers to even give it to. And with the Tigers closing in, he gets the whistle.
I think RIT wanted to change there, but they probably would have done better to not throw it right on the netminder, because RPI was essentially playing with 4 guys who were looking pretty gassed at that point. Bourbonnais was able to get himself off the ice after he made that block, but RPI wasn't able to make a full change after that. RIT still had the puck deep in the neutral zone, so kind of a missed opportunity for the Tigers as RPI is able to make a full change.
Face off to the right of Cam Hackett. Shots are 9-3 Tigers in the period. They lead 27-6 overall in the game now. Here is Wood. 2-on-2, leading a rush here with Liljegren. Had to pick up the puck behind him. Kind of slowed RPI's entry into the zone. Far side, tie up at the point. Now it's out to center. Gerdukis stopped there by Hayhurst. He stops at the red line. A little spin move, but at the end lost the puck away from McKay. Or excuse me, make it Cameron as he gets it deep. Puck in the far corner of the RPI zone. Battling for it there, Wilson. Spins his man down. Shot comes over the top. Quick trigger there from Powell. Missed the net. Kept it at the near point. Puck trickling towards the slot. Never got to Hackett. Now picked up by Hayhurst. He'll chip it high off the glass. Comes down in the neutral zone. Backhanded on further. Wilson keeps it there at the RPI line. Fed to the far side. Some space to work for Valette as he skates into the RPI zone around Reno. Looking to center. Reno runs into the back wall. Shot from a tight angle. Saved by Hackett. Cleared to center. Back to pick it up is going to be Apt again. The Tigers are committing a few more men forward here, trying to find that tying goal. Maybe the Engineers can capitalize. Maybe some odd man rushes the other way. Shot in by Riley. Around to the far side for Brubaker. And it'll be picked up by Brubaker. A little saucer pass ahead for Mikowski. Mikowski into the slot. He's tied up by a couple of Engineers. It's carried behind now by Perron-Fontaine. Perron-Fontaine to the point. A drive. Stopped by Hackett. It's under his right pad. It's poked down after the whistle. They wave off the goal immediately. And now Riley has a couple things to say. And now a cross-check. There's certainly going to be penalties to come from this. Riley far too aggressive here on Mikowski, as Mikowski did more of the taking here than the giving. Although he's trying to get them back now. Yeah,
this is
trying to get their money's worth if they're both going off.
They're both heading off. Getting back to the actual play, though, it was a quick-ish whistle, but I think Hackett more or less had the puck frozen
He's under his right pad.
when the whistle blew, so it was a bit serendipitous. The poke afterwards is what put the puck into the net, so it clearly won't be a goal for RIT, and now we're probably going to get another 4-on-4 situation.
Looks like
which, as I've mentioned in this game, has been a net benefit for RIT. They do have a 4-on-4 goal. They've looked a lot better 4-on-4, and they've been controlling the puck for basically the last 6 or 7 minutes of this contest. Down a goal, this has to be a spot that RIT likes the position that they're in.
So I believe this is the 4th time that we have 4-on-4, a full 2 minutes of 4-on-4 hockey.
And much of it has had to do with extracurriculars.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah.
Kind of some trading. It hasn't been a nasty game, but it's been as physical of a game as you would expect from RIT typically. A lot of what they do is there's a reason why there was only one American in the starting lineup. They go after big guys from Western Canada, from Canada. I'm not saying that that's part of that mindset of those people, but that's the kind of guy they go for. Big guys. They're veterans of the Canadian juniors. Most of them are 20, 21 when they get on campus. So games against RIT are going to be physical anyway.
We might have more than just the two that we thought, the two minors.
I think they're handing out misconduct penalties to both Riley and Mikowski potentially.
Receives 2 minutes for slashing and 10-minute misconduct.
Oh, 10-minute misconduct. So
yeah, I'm guessing it's a slashing and a misconduct for Mikowski. It's hitting after the whistle and another misconduct for Riley. So, well, again, that has to be a net benefit for RIT because RPI just lost a defenseman.
Right. For all intents and purposes, they could come back with 38 seconds left in an overtime. But we won't dwell any more on that fact. Here comes Norrish through the neutral zone, broken up there. 5:20 left in regulation here. 4-3, the Engineers lead. It's a long outlet pass for Tierney's all the way down the ice, and it will not be icing. Played near side boards for Valenzuela. Now 2-on-2 across the RPI line. It's the defenseman Brubaker, forced wide by Wilson. 4-on-4 hockey for 2 minutes. Played down the ice by Bourbonnais. Poked down further, has a man wide open in front. Bourbonnais, Tierney's, back to Bourbonnais. They score! The Engineers finish off the 2-0 break. And it's 5-3.
And by the time Bourbonnais got the puck past Brubaker, it was pretty much a fait accompli. It was 2-0, point blank. A pass to Tierney, a pass right back to Bourbonnais. And his second goal of the game has put RPI up by 2 with 4:55 remaining in the third period.
Perfectly executed there from the Engineers. And it comes with 4:55 left in the third. The Engineers, their first two
plays under review. I'm not sure what are they questioning whether this went off of Bourbonnais' skate perhaps instead of his stick.
Yeah, well,
I looked at the overhead. He was skating in towards it. It wasn't immediately obvious to me that it went off of his stick, which means that if it was directed in off of his skate, wouldn't be a kicking motion though.
Right.
He was moving forward, but
yeah, I don't see this one changing.
Let's take another look at it. We're looking at the overhead view.
Yeah.
Bertolo is looking over towards Bourbonnais. At this point, it's already 2-1. That's hard to say. I'm going to say it's going to be hard to overturn this
exactly.
one. The stick was basically where his skate was. It could have hit off of either one. Boy, that overhead view gives a really nice look at how Tierney is just very easily and coolly just kind of tap the pass directly back to Bourbonnais. That's what you want to do 2-on-0. You get the goaltender going one direction.
That's the whole
move in the other direction, then he just cannot move back quickly enough.
That's the sure thing goal you're looking for there. And actually, Jared Wilson was the next guy if he wanted to be.
It's going to be hard to. It's hard.
He was stopping. You're right.
But it's kind of crucial. His skate is moving forward. So it could be construed as a kicking motion. The thing is, the view that we just saw from the side they don't have, the referees don't have. They only have the above view, which I think is pretty inclusive.
And it happens really quickly, which is the other thing. He kind of flashes in
And even
out of
even with that side view, it's really hard to tell. It just looks more like a kicking motion, but whether it hit the skate or not is difficult to say.
I've been wrong too many times to actually give my opinion, but if I will anyway, because that's what I'm here for. And I'm going to say they're not going to change this.
I'm going to guess they're probably not going to change it. We definitely can't see anything from the
no,
basically
the goalie's
rear
in the way.
view. The goaltender was in the way.
They're looking at this for a long time, which I'm not sure doesn't really help anybody. It just means they can't tell.
Yeah, I think what they're looking for, because it is from the overhead. It's you can see that where the puck intersects with Bourbonnais, his stick and his skate are both right there.
Yep.
So it's going to be very difficult to overturn this one. I just didn't, from the overhead view, I just can't see any solid evidence. But we'll see what they think.
This is very bizarre. Hey, it's a goal. (5-3) is the RPI lead. Riley Bourbonnais with his second goal of the game to go along with an assist. Having a solid weekend here.
Scored by number 14, Riley Bourbonnais.
It's a 4-on-4 goal. So the Engineers have one of those now to match the one scored by Valenzuela earlier, coming in the second period about the same time.
RPI also now 1 for 2 on goals being reviewed, if that's a stat.
It is now. Puck shot in by the Tigers. It'll wrap around for Powell on the near side. Engineers, for the second time tonight, have a 2-goal lead. The first one didn't last very long. Back in the second, they're up 3-1. Now Melanson from his own zone. Tigers back off. Melanson just kind of waits for him, then chips him out to center. Right back in is Cameron. Picked up at the point. Shot high over the top. Comes off the glass to the near side. Prapavessis with Melanson breaking. Plays it back behind for Grant. 35 seconds left of 4-on-4 play. And now chipped into the far corner. Bourbonnais slaps it far side. Touch pass, carried on out to center ice. And here is Gerdakis. Drop pass for the third man in. Valenzuela, good poke check by Hayhurst. And out, Bourbonnais has it on the far side. Help to the middle of the ice. Hayhurst takes over. He'll backtrack into his own zone. Being very patient here are the Engineers. 3:40 to go. We have 5 more seconds till we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Although Riley and Mikowski have to stick around in the penalty box, off with the misconducts. Bourbonnais chops at it there. Glove down the far side. And now picked up by Reno. Wilson high in the air to center. Knocked down there. And carried on further by Bourbonnais. Ahead for Wood. Tigers behind their own goal. Worked out to center ice, and back to pick it up is Tommy Grant. Filtered to center. It'll be picked up by Wood. 2:52 left to go in the third. Engineers up a couple goals, looking to add to it here. Shot by Wood off the base of the net. Jimmy DeVito battles for it. Really played around to the near side. Wood has it again. Arister on goal, and I think it's in somewhere inside of Rotolo, although it was a pretty solid screen in front of him being placed there by Jimmy DeVito.
In his pads, not in him.
I hope not. It's not in him.
Scoring on RPI's 5th goal. Even strength 4-on-4 goal by Riley Bourbonnais at 15:05 in the third period. The assists go to Evan Tierney and Parker Reno. That is 2 assists on the evening for Reno. That is 2 goals and 3 points for Riley Bourbonnais, and that is 4 points on the evening for redshirt freshman Evan Tierney.
Face-off won by the Tigers out of their own zone. Cameron to center all the way to Wilson. Now turned around by Nanny. Good feed across for Orval. On further for Hayhurst. He pokes it into the far corner. They battle for it there with Valette. And now near side, Brubaker to center. Poke to the far side of the neutral zone by Wilson, and then helped out further by Reno. Engineers dump it in. Coming up on 2 minutes to go here in the third. Brubaker, far side. Outlet pass, too far for Cameron. Did he touch it? They say yes. No icing. Prapavassis to claim it in the near side corner. On for Tyranese. Further for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais dumps it in, avoids a check, and will chase after it there. Swatted around to the near side boards. Picked up Tyranese. A shot right on and a save by Rotolo. He will hold on.
RPI looking a lot more confident after retaking that 2-goal lead. They are looking pretty solid. We're now under 120 seconds remaining in this game. We've seen 2 quick goals in succession tonight. They were scored by RPI, but RIT is going to need something along those lines if they're going to get back into this one.
Clearing effort here. No, behind the goal. Tigers have it. Mike Rotolo has made 18 saves and allowed 2 goals in 33 minutes so far, but he right now is in line for the loss. Although Christian Short made just 7 saves on 10 shots to start the game. We were tied at 3 at one point. And there's an empty netter. Didn't even see it. A goal! Jake Wood makes it 6-3. I was too busy looking down. Should have been looking up. Jake Wood with a goal, his 2nd of the year.
Well, you might have been looking down, but Jake Wood was looking up. He was risking an icing with that shot, I think, and it came from basically at the RPI bench right near the red line. I was kind of wondering what RIT was doing, just kind of sitting behind their own net as time was ticking away, but they were setting up, making sure they were ready to go, and then they got Rotolo out of there, but it didn't last very long as Jake Wood seals it up.
He did something.
Seals it up with a shot from the neutral zone. His 2nd goal of the year makes it 6-3 Engineers. Bouncing
puck at center ice. Polino can't find it. Manley tries to jump into the play, and then finally Polino claims it and just chips it in deep. Rotolo's back in there. It's a 6-3 game. And now looking to move it out is Powell. Knocked down at center ice. Swatted in deep. Hackett back to try and stop it there. Powell. Off to the side of the cage. It'll be swallowed up there by Hackett. And he'll hold on. 43 seconds to go. And RPI looks like it's on its way to its first win of the year.
The assists on the empty netter by Jake Wood were to Evan Tyranese and Tommy Grant. That's a 5th point tonight for Evan Tyranese. That's a remarkable evening for the sophomore out of Falcon Beach.
Well, RIT trying to make a bet for the other one on the other end, but it's knocked out of there with 30 seconds to go. Shot in by Norrish. That's Chase Norrish. And now it's high in the air. Bouncing puck at the far side, half boards of the RPI zone. Grant stolen away. Rodriguez, a nice job to find Reisinger. He tried to play it on further, hit a skate, pops right back to him. He'll try to sweep into the offensive zone. He gets knocked down. 6 seconds to go. Picked up by Grant in the neutral zone. He takes the hit there, then gives a whack back to Logan, and that will do it. Engineers win it 6-3. They narrowly outshoot the Tigers 31-30 in the end. It was a back-and-forth game, and pretty much what you've come to expect from an RPI RIT game, especially here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Lots of goals. Engineers doubling up the Tigers thanks to an empty netter from Jake Wood in the end. But plenty of positives to go around, of course, some things to work on, but that's what the beginning of the season is all about.
Well, deja vu all over again if you're RIT playing in Houston Fieldhouse. The 5-point game that was just put together by Evan Tyranese with 1 goal and 4 assists was the first time that an RPI engineer has scored 5 points in a single game since Kevin Croxton had a hat trick with 2 assists against RIT on December 10th, 2005, which was that infamous 10-goal outburst that we were describing earlier in the game.
It all comes
full circle. It is also the first 4-assist game for an engineer since Chase Blachek accomplished the feat at Brown on December 4th, 2010. So a big night for RPI sophomore, redshirt freshman, Evan Tyranese. What can I say? He was pretty much everywhere, did everything. He picked up the assist that put him over the edge on that empty netter, so maybe not as much of a tactical assist there, but technically going to pick one up for pulling it out of the zone the way he did. But a Yeah, it's exactly what RPI needed in order to get themselves pointed in the right direction heading into the ECAC schedule. They needed to win the third period, and while RIT certainly kept the Engineers back on their heels for much of the period, RIT was forceful looking for that tying goal. The RPI defense bent but did not break, and they were able to break out after scoring on a 4-on-4 opportunity. A really nifty goal by Riley Bourbonnais on a 2-on-0. Really down low, perfectly executed with Evan Tyranese. And that was all she wrote. That was really the backbreaker on this one, and you got to give full credit to the Engineers for, as I said, bending but not breaking in that third period and finding a way to get out of here with a victory.
A good win for the Engineers. They head to ECAC hockey play next weekend, and of course that means Union, a big matchup home and away for RPI there. Have a week of practice to continue to get better, and we'll see what they're able to do. I'll run down the scoring very quickly. Tom will come up as offensive and defensive Engineers. 9:56 of the first period. Caleb Cameron from Adam Gerdukis made it 1-0 Tigers. The Engineers tied up at 14:12 of the period. Riley Bourbonnais from Evan Tyranese, a shorthanded goal. Then at 1:08, RPI took a 2-1 lead on Mike Krapavessis' first of the season on the power play from Riley Bourbonnais and Jacob Hayhurst. Tyranese then made it 3-1 at 1:41 of the period. His third from Jake Wood and Parker Reno. Gabe Valenzuela made it a 3-2 game from Adam Gerdukis and Brady Norrish at 4:01, and then at 14:05 they tied the game. Eric Brown's third of the season from Chase Norrish and Liam Cairns. RPI took a 4-3 lead on the power play. Jared Wilson's third of the season from Evan Tyranese and Drew Melanson. A 5-3 lead at 15:05 with a third from, it was Riley Bourbonnais scoring from Tyranese, and then the capper, the empty net goal, Jake Wood, his second of the season from Tommy Grant and Tyranese at 18:42.
Well, I'll start with my defensive engineer of the game, since my offensive engineer of the game is going to be pretty obvious by the glowing review that we gave after the final whistle. But on defense, the one guy who stood out for me the most was Tommy Grant, the sophomore out of Sparta, New Jersey. Really came into this team last year, and I don't think a lot of Engineers fans knew exactly what they were getting with him, but he has really blossomed quickly into a vital part of the RPI defense. He was really everywhere he needed to be tonight. He looked very good playing across from freshman Charlie Manley tonight. I also want to give an extra shout out to Will Riley, who reminds me an awful lot of what we saw from Grant last year. Riley got recruited relatively late in the cycle. He was brought into the fold just a few months ago, really, and I think the feeling was very similar between RPI fans, what they had with Grant coming in last year, who was also recruited relatively late, but he has, even just 5 games into his freshman year, has really taken it upon himself to establish himself as a really key component of the RPI defense. That's something that when you look at the final scores on paper, the RPI defense doesn't look strong because they've been giving up goals in most of these games, but the fundamentals so far have been fairly decent. It's something that looks like it just kind of feels like something that's going to come to gel sooner rather than later. And Will Riley and Tommy Grant have been a big part of what has been successful for RPI in defense. So I'll give my defensive engineer of the game to Tommy Grant with a stick tap for Will Riley as well. And I'll start with my stick tap on offense and say that Riley Bourbonnais with 2 goals, including what really proved it wasn't the game winner, but it was kind of the backbreaker in the third period, scoring on a 4-on-4 opportunity, a 2-on-0. That was about as sweet as I can get, with just a kiss-off pass back by Evan Tyranese that Bourbonnais buried for his second of the game. Both those gentlemen really worked in tandem tremendously well all night long. I would not be shocked to see that top line of Bourbonnais, Tyranese, and Melanson carry over into next weekend's home-and-home series against the Union Dutchmen. But in terms of sheer number and just the overall impact they had on the game, Evan Tyranese with a goal and 4 assists, RPI's first 5-point showing in a single game in nearly 11 years, and first 4-assist game in nearly 6 years. The redshirt freshman out of Holcomb Beach, British Columbia. This is a guy that I think RPI fans were really kind of on the cusp of embracing last year as a really strong part of what could be a really strong offense for the Engineers. But after he suffered a shoulder injury in the Union home and home series last year. I think he kind of got off some people's radar. RPI ended up having a little bit of success after he went out of the lineup, and I think he kind of faded from view a little bit. But for anyone who's really been paying attention, Evan Tierney is a guy who's pretty much got the goods to be a star in the ECAC. His last 2 seasons were pretty much ruined by shoulder injuries. He was on pace in his last year of juniors to lead the British Columbia Hockey League in points. Suffered a separated shoulder and lost the rest of his final junior year. Comes to RPI, plays in 7 games, leads the team in scoring to that point. Then he's also lost for the season at that point. As long as he can stay healthy this year, this game against RIT, where we factored into 5 of RPI's 6 goals, could just underscore how important Evan Tierney is going to be to the Engineers' attack in the 2016-2017 season. So congratulations to Evan Tierney. It's good to see him back on the ice, and hopefully he'll be able to continue this, maybe not on this level every night, but this at least the same type of attitude on offense that he was able to display tonight on a night in and night out basis. That will just about do it for us here at Houston Fieldhouse. Before we depart, we do want to remind you of a few items of note. Our next WRPI Sports broadcast will be emanating from Houston Fieldhouse here at RPI as the ECAC schedule begins with the first of 2 games in the Route 7 rivalry. It is the annual Black Friday game as well here at the Fieldhouse, as the Engineers welcome their arch rivals from just up Route 7 in Schenectady, the Union Dutchmen. The puck drop for that game will be at 7 p.m. on Friday. That is Friday, October 28th. Our on-air time should be close to 6:45. We would like to thank DJ Toast back at the station for getting us out on the air and keeping us there. We'd also like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all of the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as WRPI is broadcasting, we provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. So for Perry Lascaris, my name is Tom Reel. You've been listening to live coverage of Engineers hockey, and your final score from Houston Fieldhouse is RPI 6 and RIT 3 here on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.